I wanted to talk to you about different subjects today. Like, I wanted to talk to you about sex as one, because I feel like a lot of people don't talk about it in the way that it's important to talk about as more of a connection. A lot of people in pop culture and like rap and like any music use it as shock value.
Shock value?
Shock value.
What's that?
Shock value is like to provoke, to get attention. A rapper uses all kind of sexual lyrics just to like get attention. But I wanted to talk, and I love that I talked to you because you're a girl.
Oh yeah.
And it's like a man talking to a woman about who are both heterosexual. It's such an interesting conversation
Mm-hmm.
because you have the
Yeah.
perspective of the woman and you have the perspective of the man. So a lot of people like they're thinking more about what the other person thinks of them instead of enjoying the moment of having sex, which it is basically there for enjoyment. Of course, it's there for making babies too, but it, even making babies, it should be fun to have sex. It should be a connection. It should be a magical experience. That's what we're here for as human beings,
Right.
for like experience,
Ideally.
right? In sex, I feel like a lot of girls have pressure and guys have pressure. Guys have pressure to perform in a way, and then girls also have pressure to perform too, and also how they look. And yeah, I just wanted to hear your experience with that, what you can say about that.
People kind of tag their self-worth
Yeah.
to either the quality by society's values or the quantity even of partners or like sexual
Guys,
partners they have had.
the more girls, yeah, the more hot
Right.
girls a guy sleeps with, people attach their self-worth a lot of times to sex. Girls
Right.
attach it to what kind of high class man they can attract, how desirable they are, and guys attach it to how many hot girls they can nail, they can fuck
Like
with, they can have
like a
sex with.
prize.
Yeah.
The issue there is the attachment to the self-worth, where there's nothing wrong with having sex with a bunch of people if that's what you want to do, and there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with having sex with rappers and celebrities if that's what you want to do.
Exactly.
There's
Yes.
nothing wrong with having sex with a girl just because she's hot, as long as you guys are on agreement of that, but there's no emotional connection. Like I believe the issue lies in the attachment of the value system to the action, right? Like,
Oh my God, you're amazing.
you want
Exactly.
you want to be clear on that. So the first thing, I mean, like if you're engaging in any sexual activity with the other person, like I hope that there has been some communication on the terms of the relationship, but in the way of like,
Okay.
or at least you know where you stand with the person. Ideally, I know this is not
Let's
always the
let's
case with
assume
people,
let's assume that
especially.
happened. Let's assume that happened. Yeah.
Let's
Hopefully.
assume. Right. Let's say, yeah, exactly. Like that you know, like, oh, you want to start a relationship with this person for other reasons too.
I mean, a lot of times you don't even know if you want to
It's
start a
something
relationship with the person, even if you have sex with them, right? I mean,
that's true. That
you
is true
see
too.
where
Because
it's going. You can't be like, okay, if we have sex now, we're gonna be in a relationship, okay?
right.
I
No,
don't care
I
what's
agree.
going on. We
I
are
agree. I
going
have
to
something to
be
say
in a
on this.
relationship.
But I believe sometimes people just full on avoid the conversation, and therefore miscommunication is created. Because let's say there have been a few dates involved and one person is more attracted than the other emotionally, but they haven't expressed it
Hmm.
or they haven't communicated it, then sometimes the act of sex can come as this assumed factor of like, oh, we're getting closer now, we're creating a physical bond on top of the emotional, whereas the other person might be like playing the field and figuring it out, like, oh, okay, are we compatible? But if they don't speak about these things either before or after, ideally before, but as humans, a lot of times we're spontaneous with this sort of stuff because the feeling arises and it's like, ooh, yeah, like let's do it, I'm excited. And that's how I find when there's no clarity on what both people are going in with is when it can get messy. A big positive aspect of sex is the moment of it, the fact where like oftentimes and especially with new first time partners, I believe this is a little more common. It's the ego mind or whatever message talking of like, oh, well, how do I look? What do they think of me? This and this. And it's taking away from the actual experience of the actual moment because you're actually in your head rather than in your body of like, oh, that feels good or whatever. And the more you can release your insecurity about how like, oh, does my boob look good like this or whatever it is that someone is thinking about, or like I know with women it's oftentimes the stomach area that can trigger some thoughts. And it's it's a thing. It comes up.
What do you mean? What do you mean the stomach area triggers thoughts?
Like this is something about, it's like the body image of, if, and this is I think a separate,
Oh,
even
okay.
outside of sex topic of like fully accepting and loving our bodies as they are. But
Mhm.
what I've found, at least with my experience in talking to people about this, is we can get self-conscious, that's the right word,
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
about the naked body, right? Like you're literally exposed to someone. It's a vulnerable act where these sorts of more critical thoughts have
Yeah,
potential to arise. But again, ideally, you're having a sacred energy exchange. I'm gonna get all yoga on this,
yeah.
sex, with
That's what I expect you to do because
with
my channel is about energy and that's what life is about. So please don't filter yourself at all. Just
no,
say
I
what
would
you want to
never.
say the way you want to say it.
It's ideal to get to that point where you're comfortable with both yourself and the person that you're sharing this with, where you can have this vulnerability or this very real moment with each other, or extended moment for the duration of the sex. And it doesn't have to end with sex or whatever, but if it is coming from, right, like I do believe that most of the way we feel about an event after it happens is a reflection of both a blend of if we had any expectations about it, which hopefully we can mitigate a little, and what the intention is going in to the event or action. And if the intention is like, oh, like I just want to tell people that I banged this chick, or like, oh, I just want to tell
Yeah.
people that I
I
hooked up,
mean, then the
that I
person's not
I just
going
want
to
to tell
even be in
people
the
that
moment, you know? Yeah.
yeah. Like if your intention is for societal status, or like to brag to your friends, like, oh yeah, like I went and fucked Drake last night, like okay. But like if that was this the intention, then odds are that lacks depth. You're gonna come up short on the actual feeling experience, because either you're
So
thinking
let
of well, yeah, so a couple of things that I find can come up in sexual experiences is like the body awareness or insecurities or self-awareness, self-consciousness, or the thought of like, oh, like this is hyping me up for whatever clout, or whatever word you used.
I love it. I love it. So
When
yeah.
like
Let me just
optimally
go ahead.
you want to be in the present moment, like sex is
Yeah.
for the connection
Yeah.
factor in the present moment of like, how does this feel, and like, oh, like, well, what about if you touch me there, and like, oh, like, okay, how can I get more comfortable, how can I relax more? And I find when you actually engage with a partner who both is listening to you and you are caring
Mm,
for them and listening to them
fuck
and
yeah.
their right, like, and take turns doing so, that
Listening,
is
yes.
where the magic the
Magic, yeah.
of the action happens. So
You
yeah,
know what's funny?
I believe it
I
comes with
just
intention.
exactly what you just like said. I was about to say and ask you. To me,
Uh-huh.
the best sex I ever had, and I want to get the because you are going to be so valuable for like the men because they're going to hear from a female perspective now what you love about sex. The best sex I ever had is when it's like a dance. It's like an intuitive
Me.
dance from moment to moment. You follow your excitement while having sex. It's almost like this subtle like dance, the flow with the other person,
Mm.
the slight kisses. It's not like something like, oh, I have to kiss her now in this way so she's impressed, or I have to I have to do this position now so she's impressed. It's like this
Right.
really like energy that's behind your intentions of enjoying, and you get into this dance with the other person where it's really intuitive and fun, and it's like more than just the physical act, which is amazing too. It's this synchronicity of intuition. It's like a dance. It's like an improv. It's like an improv play. It's amazing. It's like magic. It can be magical if you come from this pure intention. And I'm telling you straight up, the rarest people, and imagine it's two people, the rarest people can be that way. And yeah, that's literally like what I want to express, and I want people to like listen to this and hear this and be like, yo, I never thought about this way. I never thought about this way. And Kiki and Jesse, how they said it,
Yeah.
next time I want to try it. I want them to like get the be in their own power, trust themselves, and have this intuitive act with the other, this intuitive moment with the other person. And this is now for you, and this comes from all the men in the world, Kiki. What do
A lot
you
of pressure.
love? I mean, you have one. We gotta be honest. We gotta be honest right here. You have
Mm-hmm.
one perspective. Everybody has a different perspective. Every woman has a different perspective. But I'm sure men are interested in your perspective. What do you love about sex?
Okay, broad question. I do like that you pointed out and highlighted. I am one perspective. I don't speak for all women. I speak from my own experience. The best parts of sex is when it it builds, right? Like it's not like a planned thing of like, oh, I need to have sex at this time with this person because of some story or whatever status. Explore and check in throughout, like be present and attentive. I find when I check in or like give some direction while also receiving direction through my own attention is when it creates this more synchronistic dance and experience for both parties to enjoy themselves. Sometimes it is nice for the man to be dominated and take control and be like, yeah, I'm going to be all masculine and like do this thing, and the woman can be submissive, right? But then there are some times where it's nice to turn around and be like,
But that's intuitive
oh,
too, right? It's all intuitive. That's intuitive, and that's not like a plan. It's an intuition that happens out of the reading of the energy. Like you said, listening. And I feel like listening is not, it's definitely not only verbal, it's
yeah,
listening
with the
to the other
body, like it's a
person in
yeah,
with the body. Yes,
it's a
I love that you said
conversation
that, with
with
the
your
body.
body. There's body language when we're doing normal activities, and there's extreme body language during sex. Like you can usually tell if someone's in their head. And there are
Yes,
ways to, and
exactly.
that
Oh
doesn't
my
mean they're
God.
not,
Yes, I love
and that
that you
doesn't,
say that.
and that doesn't mean that they're not enjoying it, right? But it can mean
It's
that
not as
they're,
enjoyable though. It's not as enjoyable though,
but
right?
there's a way. I do find that there is a way to like peel that layer off, like gently, right? Like you don't want to, you know, actually sometimes some people like to be slapped in the face, or like, you know, you really need to like grab them and
Yeah,
be like, hey, like pay attention, like where are you, you're here. But sometimes a little
yeah.
more gently or gracefully, like bring the attention here. And I find like when you're the most present in the moment, whether it is something super aggressive or very slow and
Yes.
sensual, like
I love that you said
all
that.
of that can be very beautiful. And it is also circumstantial, and so whatever both people need in that moment. But it's also a huge part in like expressing that and being
Guys,
comfortable with expressing that, whether with the body
read
and or the words.
read the other person,
And
moment to
check,
moment,
read and
be
check, because I
intuitive,
do find, yeah, I do find there is a
and
thing with making assumptions, right? Like how you said, kind of like if the man just assumes that he needs to be all
yeah,
dominant and like go go go, but the woman is kind of like in the mood to like take control, then there needs to be a moment of realization there. If there's no inflection point, then someone's having not that great of a time.
sometimes the woman needs to feel more comfortable, especially like maybe the first time,
But the man too,
even
like you
just
said
in
too,
the
sometimes the
foreplay.
guy is, yeah,
Yeah,
both people need to like, the best is when both people are comfortable with themselves
that's why
and
people need to
with
work
each
together.
other.
It's like so crazy. Like that's what I like always.
Mhm.
People need to see this like a togetherness. Like
Mhm.
not only just selfishly be like,
It's not
hey,
for a
this
story or
is
like for
what's
my
going
pleasure.
on.
And like, yes, ideally you receive some pleasure from this.
Exactly. Yeah.
However, it's
It's a
not it's not all about
co-creation.
you. Yeah, I love that.
It's a co-creation. Yes, it is a co-creation. And there's two kinds of. I don't want to say there's not two kinds of girls, but there's from all the different kind of perceptions of girls, there two of them are definitely where one girl might be too, she might be in her head, she might be thinking, how do I look right now? And then if you have the intuition to be like, hey, there's ways I can get her in the moment, I can make her feel comfortable. And there's another type of girl who's like really like sensitive and maybe had like some sexual experiences that were not as pleasant, and she has to make comfortable in a different way where maybe the guy has to be slower with it, but it's all in the end a play, it's all in the end a co-creation. And I love literally like everything that you said, and it went like, especially with the body, when you bodies are intelligent, like our cells are intelligent, and if we
Yeah.
are aligned, and if we are not in our heads, and that's what I teach, like in so many videos, I teach that so many people are in their heads, like they literally think about having sex instead of feel having sex. And if you think about, they have, most people nowadays in our society have their energy up here. All the energy is up here. All the energy is in their head. And they think about, how do I look right now? How do my Gucci shoes look right now? How do my Gucci flip-flops look right now? How can this person, yeah, listen, how can this person raise my status? How can this person be an advantage of me when we talk about girls who like want to be with high status men, or even guys where it's like, how is this girl a 10? Like they put girls in numbers, right? They're like, is this girl a 9? Can I tell my boys about that I banged a 9, that I had sex with a 9? What does it say about you? That says about you that you are attaching your self-worth to this subject of sex. And if you attach your self-worth to that, the moment you have an experience that is not reaching your expectations, you lose self-worth. That's like, and self-worth is like, self-worth shouldn't even be talked about, it should be talked about, but people shouldn't even, ideally, people shouldn't even think about it, because people are worthy by existence. We have the light in us that is so amazing that even the subject of worthiness, thinking about it, like you're just worthy just because you have that light. And if people go from that basis, if people go from that foundation, I feel like they don't put their eggs in the person of the to the other person. Be like, hey, do you like my eggs? Hey, look, I colored them a little bit. Hey, look, these are my Easter eggs. I put like this. Do you like them? I put my best
Right.
work in them. Do you like my Gucci
Validation.
shoes? Do you like my do you like me doing doggy style? Do you like, it's all of those things together. Like it's different subjects. But
Right.
if you are reacting to the other person, there's a reaction in a good way. There's a play together. There's an intuition. That's like being like in a beautiful, in a worthy reaction. But if you are reacting to the opinion about the other person about you, you are not in the moment with sex. You are not in this magical like dance that's happening for the first time again and again in this universe, where your energies collide in a new way, and you guys can play with that energy moment to moment.
Yeah, and on top of that, I love that you said that. And like by doing so, by adding or by giving it away, you're like giving another person. Oops, I fell. You're giving your power away to someone else to validate you.
I
Problem.
love that you said that. I love, fucking love this so much that you just said that. That sentence. You're looking for validation in another person. A lot of girls do that. A lot of guys do that. A lot of humans do that. I
Humans do.
love that
Yeah.
sentence. I love that sentence that you just said.
And that is when we feel out of power or out of the present moment the most or the easiest is when we're waiting for someone else or asking or begging even someone else to tell us we're good enough, beautiful enough, sexy enough, awesome enough, rich enough, whatever enough. And it's never going to be enough until you think it's enough, or you feel or believe it's enough, especially in this time when we're also isolated. Like you got to get comfortable with being by yourself, and oftentimes we we seek the comfort elsewhere, which is, it's human and there's nothing wrong with it. Like I don't like to call things wrong that are whatever, but it's something great to be aware of and to make adjustments in increments in order to find that place where we can be at peace at least most of the time. The more able we are individually to come back to center, come back to ourselves, come back to some degree of empowerment is
Yeah.
the most ideal. Like, no matter what fucks with you, you'll come back.
You know, I really want to connect that to this conversation. Like everything we just said about sex, we can say about this conversation because I really enjoy this conversation and I go moment to moment with you. I play with you. I'm intuitive with you. I don't think, oh, this is, I even before the call, I knew like, okay, this is what I maybe want. This is what I knew before. This is what I was excited to talk about. This is what I'm excited. But then in the moment, I was like, it came an inspiration, and I was like, this is what we're going to talk about, and that's
Yeah,
how to have sex. I want to say that this conversation has the underlying foundation of moving with energy, and it's a relationship with energy that you have your whole life. You have it when you go to your car. You have it when you have a conversation. You have it when you are driving. You have it when you are talking to a person. You have it when you have sex. You have it in any situation. You have it with your finances. You have it with money. In any situation, it's an intuitive relationship with whatever is in front of you.
There's this term that is used in my yoga practice, having a golden thread, right? Like, and it's and perhaps it's a thread of attention, intention, or what you just said. That's the word is slipping my mind now, but yeah, it's this golden thread that it literally threads through. It's the same concept or the same piece of magic that threads through everything in your life, everything that you do, everything that you put energy into.
I always say life is about raising your vibration. And you will raise your vibration if you follow your excitement, because by just being in the moment, following your excitement, you do what excites you, which raises your vibration, which brings you on a new frequency, which makes you attract an amazing life.
Up. Yes. And perhaps it does kind of go with the same thread that we were talking about. But the thing that came up with the sex that I believe could be another component that is of value, eye contact. It's something that I find either sometimes with new people, right? They're like, oh, I can't look at them. Like it's this nerve-wracking thing. Or like when you make like there have been times like making eye contact with someone like while you're in it is like
an explosion. Usually, if you really have eye contact with another person, it will get both people in a moment. If the person afterwards is like, oh my God, that eye contact freaks me out and gets in their head, that's on them. Because and that's what you have to investigate your work to do. Then you have to investigate your belief system. So there's two perspectives which you talked about, right? If you make eye contact with a person while having sex, usually that should get them in the moment. A lot of times if you have eye contact with someone who's has some belief systems about themselves where it makes them shy, then it makes them feel uncomfortable, right?
It can be it can be triggering.
So then I just want to tell like the people who are watching, a good question to ask yourself is, what would I have to believe is true that this eye contact makes me feel uncomfortable? And then if you investigate, you can find actually the belief system. And a lot of times when you're just conscious about the belief system, that belief system will drop and you will actually let go of the belief system. And now you can replace that belief system for a new one that feels more exciting to you. Eye contact is such an important place in connection with someone because you literally see the light in someone's eyes. You literally see the attention where it's at. If they are in their head or if they are right here present with you, it's all about your intentions. If you have congruity with yourself, if your mind, your emotions, if it's all like together that I feel good about myself and I feel good about myself, I can say that. I feel like I'm a gift and I feel like everybody should think that way. Everybody should feel they're a gift. And then when I talk in the video, it's all congruent, right? And that's your connection with another person. Another person can the subtle sub-communications of your body language, like we talked about earlier, and your subtle energy that comes from you. If you're sensitive, if you meditate, if you are in your power, you can feel another person's congruency, authenticity, and then you can go from there. Like, that's why I feel like I'm so good with like sensing if I want to work with that person, if I want to do with that person, because it doesn't matter what a person says.
Right.
Words don't matter. The
Vibes
energy
talk.
behind the words matters. And that's
Vibes.
why people in culture, like when they like get mad at what a person says or the words they use, like fuck what the person said and the words they used. What energy was behind that person when he said that? What intuitive energy came behind that person? And that's how you like connect with people too. If you are authentic and if you manipulate, manipulation only works on people that can get manipulated because they're not conscious enough to see what's really going on. I feel like, because watch what a person does, not what they say. I always say that when like even in
Oh, that's
relationships, and
powerful.
that's why, yeah, that's what I say in a lot of my videos. Watch what a person does, not what the person says, because and that's the girl that wrote me yesterday that I'm gonna have a call with too. She asked me. She literally says in a way, "Oh, this person kind of put an illusion in front of me, and then when the relationship is over, she's mad that that person kind of put an illusion, but
Fooled her,
fooled
like
her." Yeah,
like I let them play me type.
yeah, but don't watch what they say, because like it's so easy to listen to a girls, even girls do it all the time. I have a video about when girls sweet talk guys and when girls sweet talk like people to get like a certain reaction, to get like a certain attention. Look what she does. Does she call you from herself or do you always have to call her? Does she reach out to you and ask how you're doing? Does she bring you stuff? Does she think of you without you asking her? Or is she just saying those things? If she's just saying those things, you can clarify and be like, yo, I don't know what your real intentions are because you say a lot, but from what you're doing, I don't see it yet. And then the person can think about herself and be like, oh, okay, let me see. Maybe I'm really a little bit selfish or whatever. But if or if he's just manipulating, you can see that by them just talking, but there's no actions behind it, you know?
What came to me is like two things. Why are you in the relationship, and why are you in relationship with this particular person, and how attached are you to that? Those are three layers that came to me on the top of my head. And right, like starting off with the first one, why are you in
The most
relationship
important thing, why
already?
are you in the relationship? Yeah,
Yeah,
why?
if you're in relationship to not be lonely, already you're done. If you make it through some period of time with that intention alone, congratulations, but you played yourself after whatever amount of time, because someone's not going to fulfill your emptiness. And that's a
No,
reality
no,
check for all of
never.
us. And it is so nice and so comfy and beautiful to share time, energy, comfort, like meals, conversation with another human being, with a partner,
Yes.
if you choose, right? And even if it is a shitty partner for sometimes it is nice to just be with another human and not be with ourselves. Like, it feels good temporarily, or until the shit hits the fan, and then it's like that
Which
wake
sure
up,
will.
which is inevitable at some point if that is your sole intention of being with this person, so that you're not by yourself. At the end of the day, they're not going to fill you. You have to fill you. You have to remember that you are whole exactly as you are, and you don't need another person to complete you. When people are like, "Oh, you complete me," right? Like, yeah, it's a
Yeah.
cute saying, but it's really putting the wrong
I
idea
have this movie. I have
in
this movie
people's
that I cut in
heads.
from. Do you remember that movie from Tom Cruise where he
I'm
says,
so
"You
bad at
complete
movies,
me"?
Jesse. I'm
Really?
so
Okay.
bad at movies.
Watch one of my videos.
Mhm.
I say the most important relationship is the relationship with yourself, and I cut
Mhm.
in this movie where it's with Tom Cruise and this famous actress, and in the
Mhm.
end he runs to her and he looks at her and he says, "You complete me," and then she says, "You had me at hello." I'm a little bit more unapologetic and less acceptable
Mm.
about a person who is at any point in the relationship because they want to fill a void, because we are
Mm.
really here in this world to express our full light, and we can only express our full light and have a full relationship if we let our own light shine. You should rather work on getting a new perspective than making an action move to get a person to fill that void. What I'm saying is
Mhm.
you should update your belief system to the fact that you are happy by yourself, and then you will be
Mm.
happy with the other person. You can only be happy with another person if you are happy by yourself. If you're in a relationship or not, you should go to your better feeling thoughts, you should go to your practice, you should go to your tools, you should go to your meditations to get that new perspective where you are like, okay, I'm good again. I knew that was
Mm.
only a slip up. That was, and I was
Mhm.
kind with myself while
Yep.
having that slip up. But the most important thing is to see your own light. Only if you're full and you're overflowing, if your cup is overflowing, you can even give love to another person. You can give water to another person. Only if you have a high vibration, you are of value to another person. If you are crying and trying to be empty and trying to like go to another person for seeking, that's going to be a screwed up relationship. And I need people to understand what I'm saying right now.
Mm.
I want them to understand this, because you will waste time of your life chasing another person's approval, chasing feelings in another person. Don't chase feelings in another person. Meditate
Oof.
and write lists of positive aspects about yourself, about the relationship you have with
Mhm.
yourself, about the relationship with your life. You will change your belief systems, and you will love being with yourself. I love being with myself and the ocean. I love being
Mm.
by myself at night. I love being by myself with other people. I love being by myself, but I have this relationship first, and then everything else is an add-on. It's nice. It's amazing.
Mhm.
Yes, watching the sunset by myself is amazing. Watching the sunset with another person is not better, but it's amazing too. It's beautiful to share moments with other people, and it's beautiful to share this moment with myself. I want people to think about that they're not alone, that they actually have a relationship with themselves. It's almost like you have your inner being in you that's always watching you, that's always there with you. It's unexplainable from
Mm.
the mind, but if you can feel into it that you have a relationship with yourself, then that's beautiful.
Shit, Jess, you hit me with that one. Like a tidal wave, like a tsunami all over with that.
I always ask girls and guys, why do you think you want that person? And they
Mhm.
sometimes they get to it. They like, because I feel like when I'm with that person, it's a good feeling. It's a being together. It's a good feeling. And then I'm
Mhm.
like, you know what? If you can get that good feeling first, if you can get that good feeling first with yourself, then you will get an amazing partner. If it's her or someone else. And a lot of times
Mhm.
you will even outgrow your crush, because your crush you only got on the level of your right now consciousness. And your right now consciousness, I'm sorry to say that, is a consciousness of lack, is a
Is
consciousness of
asking
you,
for more, more, more.
it's a consciousness of neediness. And
Mm.
if you do those meditations and if you start changing your belief system the same way that you just said, you will probably not even like that person anymore. You know what's an epidemic in our society is a lot of girls and a lot of guys want to be with people that don't like them, because they think that if another person doesn't like them, the other person must be better or plays a little cold. And that's so weird. That is so weird. It's this hard to get thing that a lot of girls and guys play into, where you see that
Mm.
most of our society is sick because they don't have the confidence where it's like, yo, I think I'm cool. And if you don't think I'm cool, I don't think you're cool. If you don't believe that I'm amazing, then I don't think you're amazing. And that should be the attractive factor. It's an easier way to explain it, but I want people to know that person is still worthy. That person still has the
Mhm.
light. Now, that doesn't mean if that person disrespects you, you don't have to take that disrespect. That just means that
Mhm.
person has the light, and if they're acting
Because.
disrespectful,
Mhm.
they just don't know their whole light. Because a person who knows their whole light, they don't hurt other people. But
Mm.
all people have the same light. All people have the
Mhm.
same worthiness. That doesn't mean that
Yeah.
anybody has the right to disrespect you. That person is just not a match for you. Just keep moving.
Mhm. Out or at that time even, because perhaps
Exactly.
they're
Yes.
going through
Yes.
some
That's
shit, but
even.
their light is super
Yes.
dim because of whatever they're experiencing within
At that
themselves, and that
their
has nothing to
vibration
do
at
with
that
you.
time.
A, it has
Yes.
nothing to do with you, and B, it is not your job
It's
to
just
fix
not
it.
matching.
It
It's
is
just not.
not your job.
Yeah.
That's something I believe I need to tell my prior self, and something that I hope would contribute to a lot of people doing this whole like, oh, but like we have such potential. Like, I know he's such a great person, but right now he doesn't see what I see in him. And this can be beautiful, but it can get you into trouble when you're trying to fix them because there's nothing for you to fix. There's support that you can provide to ideally assist this person to see within themselves what it is that they need to look at. And oftentimes this is what relationships are for lessons in self-love and learning what it is that we need to focus upon ourselves in order to come up the next level. If one partner is taking responsibility of the other partner's problems in self-love, self-worth, any sort of value to society, that's disconnect. You're taking someone else's work and that's not yours to take or to do. There's your plant and then there's the other person's plant. And then there's the plant that you're growing together if in relationship. We're talking for relationships here. And if you're only watering the plant together, like your two individual plants are dead. And if they're connected to the relationship plant, they're going to suck it dry. And no matter how much you water it, no matter how much you put it in the sun, it's not going to thrive. You need to water and nourish your own plant. Your partner needs to
Genius.
nourish his own plant. And
Genius.
then the two plants can come together
Oh
to make a
my
really beautiful
God.
third plant, right? 1 + 1 is not
What?
2.
That just
1
touched
+
me.
1
What a
is 3.
genius.
1 + 1 is 3. This is what my teacher says. It's I'm gonna say it one more time. One, you
Yeah,
plus your partner, and it's not in the sense of a child, right? Like it could mean that too, but like your relationship can be viewed as like co-creation, a dance,
as
like
an
you said
entity.
with the yes, it's its own entity, but it is not your identity. It's its own thing, and you still need to have your own thing. And when we forget that, which is, and it's, there's nothing wrong with people, and like I find people like beat themselves up over this all the time because they're like, oh, like I lost myself, like I just completely just took on all of their responsibilities as my own. And right, it's because you care about the person.
Putting water on your own plant, you actually watering the relationship. If you guys are
Mm-hmm.
just always together, if you are always together, always doing the same things, a lot of times you can lose yourself in the relationship. You have to have an outside life too. You have to
You
have your
need
friends,
boundaries.
you
It's a
have to
huge
have your
lesson in
sports,
boundaries.
you have to have your hobbies. You have to,
Mm-hmm.
yes, you need to have you just have to, I wouldn't even say boundaries. Boundaries is a good, uh, you know what I would say? It's like you have to know that the relationship with yourself is the most important relationship. And by nourishing that relationship, you will nourish every single relationship in your life. By you being happy, by you doing what excites you, by you growing and not giving that up for another person, you are thriving and you make the relationship thrive and you make the
Yeah.
relationship exciting. You both grow. We just gave the answer for that girl's question. If you are in the relationship with another person, still the most important thing is your own relationship with yourself.
I want to loop back to the why are you in a relationship conversation. I said three things. One of them was why are you in the relationship? That one we touched on, the intention. And then the second layer is why are you in a relationship with this particular person? If you're just with this person because it looks good, because it helps your status, or you've just been together for already this period of time and it's comfortable. That's a common one that I see. You want to be in a relationship, ideally, with a person who is one or all of these things, perhaps challenging you and your current belief systems that you can level up, that is helping you grow, kind of the same branch of that, that shares interests and things with you, but also introduces you to other things that perhaps you didn't know about before that you can either join or observe with endearment, that that's their thing that they enjoy doing, and overall to experience things with this person and to fully be there with each other, right? Like from the sex to the mundane sitting on the couch and watching a show. Like if you can fully be with yourself and be with this person in a way that's harmonious, then ideally that relationship will last a very long time, or not even a long time. It will last as long as the relationship is
As
meant to
long as
for
it's
you.
meant to last. I love that. We say the
And
same sentence. We finish the same sentences.
if you're in the relationship for other reasons, or even oftentimes after the long time, if you're in it out of guilt or lack of confrontation of wanting to work out whatever may not be working, or in this case of the you feel responsible for that person, it's only going to get heavier, and you can't carry someone else through life. Like it's nice to get a piggyback once in a while, especially if you're tired and you need, right, like that could also be relationship support for one another. But taking someone else's responsibility as your own and then carrying them both together is not ideal. It's not sustainable. And could it be better with someone else that is more of a match for you? Perhaps. And do you necessarily need to be in a traditional relationship your entire life? These are questions that I think a lot of people either don't ask themselves frequently enough, or perhaps have never asked themselves, of like, what do I
That's what I
really
talked to my
believe
dad
about
yesterday about.
relationship?
To question yourself is so important. To ask questions. Why do I do this? Also ask
Mm-hmm.
questions about society, what society does.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I
Right.
came to the US, I went to college, and in Germany, we don't have all these labels that you guys put here on relationships. You guys have
Mm.
talking, talking about talking, exclusive relationship, unexclusive relationship, hanging out. I mean, there's literally
Mm-hmm.
so many labels. And then
Mm.
are we boyfriend and girlfriend? In Germany, it's like if you like someone, you guys just come together to the point where you guys are together. And
Mm.
we don't really like talk about it as much. Maybe like girlfriend, boyfriend, that talk. But
Right.
those are all labels, and they are
That's,
invented
yeah.
by society for a reason. And I want
Mm.
people to question those things. I want
Oof.
people to question society. I want people to question why is it
Why you do
cool
things.
that why is it
Mm-hmm.
cool that in rap music people are talking about their guns? Why is
Mm.
it cool
Yeah.
that in rap music people are talking about lean and getting high? How does it make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Does it actually support a person? How many people die of lean each year? Why is it cool to fill a void for someone with drugs, but it's not
Oof.
as cool to some people to meditate? Why is it so cool for guys to show up in music videos with guns and fill their void with Molly and lean, but it's not as cool to be spiritual and meditate and work on your own energy and get your own power? Why is it so cool to go to your anger and attack another person instead of trying to ask your belief system why you got angry, or why is it necessary to
Mm.
attack another person who probably attacked you in a way like verbally first and said something, but why does the opinion of another person hit you that hard that you have to go at it? Or
Oof.
a big thing that I see a lot of times with YouTubers. Why do you make videos to get viral, to get high views, to get society to approve of you, instead of
Mm.
you creating your own, what you love, what you excited about,
Mm.
and create your own society? What I talked about, and this is a big thing for me, I only do things that excite me. I don't think about before I make a video, oh, this is going to get a lot of views. That's 99% of people on social media think about what gets a lot of views and
Mm.
do it then. But you know why I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy so much what I'm doing? Because I literally don't give a fuck about what other people think about my videos. I put the movies in that I love. I make the subject that I love. Today I wanted to talk about
Mm.
sex. I wanted to talk about that. I wanted to talk, and we did it. And this is what differentiates me and people who are on a high conscious, because they are authentic. They do what they love. And you know what I always question is, even with marketing, people always look what the audiences are doing. What did the audience like doing? And try to get the money through that. The craziest thing, I bet you can make even more money if you go your own way. If you think what's best for you, because right now you're playing society's game. You play the game of what they created. They created that game, and the game is even sick because a lot of people go to the doctors and get all kinds of
Mm-hmm.
pharmaceuticals because society tells
Prescription
them that's
drugs
the
is the
easy
easy way.
prescription drugs. That's the easy and fast way for you to
Mm-hmm.
get the healing. But you know what's
Mm.
an even better way? What I believe, and that's what I put out. And even if I don't make as much money with it, I make more money with what I'm doing because people are trusting me and people come to me because they trust me. And I say meditation and eating healthy and relaxing and being in ease mode, this ease is coming from not being in ease. And if you get your spirit in ease, and here I come to the questions again. Ask yourself, is that good for me? Is that really good for me what society's doing there? Or am I just doing that because everybody's saying that? Stop being a sheep. Stop being a sheep and running with them. Go to your own opinion. Ask yourself, do I like it? And I know for myself, I'm not going to play society's game. I'm going to create my own game. And if you guys like my game, play with me. If those guys don't like my game, don't play my game. But the people who are on my TikTok are so amazing, and I know why they're so amazing. Because I don't make that dumb-ass content where I manipulate people, where a lot of pickup artists manipulate people and put out techniques to brainwash girls and get them attracted with, but you can only do that with egocentric girls anyway. I put the things out where I want to get you guys in your power, and if you guys are in your power, you will overlap all that. You will have infinite power, and you will attract the most amazing people.
One of my mantras: wake up in the morning and question everything. Question my belief system from yesterday, question why am I going to do what I'm going to do, or whatever, why. And one of the questions you brought up was, why are the rappers, I guess, or the society putting on a pedestal the use of drugs, sex, alcohol, all these material things to fill a void, right? Like selling you, you're lacking something, so therefore you need this. Or even another layer is just like, oh, it's cool to do this, or like, this is will make you feel good. And it's how people make money. But
how people make money, yes.
But it's also the
It's how
the part,
Gucci and Prada makes money, Kiki. It's
right?
how
And like,
Gucci
why?
and
Yeah.
Prada,
And why is that in
because
the rap songs,
they
right?
don't
Why are all
even
these
like the
things?
clothes. They don't even like, a lot of times they don't even like the clothes. They just like to wear the label so other
Because of the
people
label.
think they have money and are cool, and they get the love from other people. A lot of times they wear clothes to get the love of other people, which is crazy. Yeah.
But to bring it back to your mentioning of like all these things in rap lyrics, right? And music. I could go into a whole different tangent on this, of how sound and music and the things we hear, especially the things we hear over and over again, repetition of pattern breeds character and habit. And
People sing
even
it along,
and even yeah, and if you're like, and people say, right, like, oh yeah, like, I'm just singing about guns and murder and rape, but I don't believe in it. But your subconscious is listening, and you're not aware of it necessarily, but there's this deeper layer of yourself that is getting influenced by the music. So whether it is like, and it's not to say that everyone who listens to the rap songs about guns and whatever is going to go out and buy a gun and use it, but oftentimes I guess it's more applicable to the drugs and the Prada and all of these brand name.
1 second.
Shout
I want
outs.
to say something about. I want to say something about. To me, and I know you too. I disagree slightly, just because. Okay, I'll give you an example. I love this song. It's called Rockstar. It's by The Baby with Roddy Ricch. That song is just like, you could tell that when he was in the studio, he literally just like put out the intention of fun and the intention of making good music. And that's why I always say it's the difference between the words and the energy behind the words. And
Okay, I hear that.
do you
And
understand
I
what I'm
agree.
saying?
I hear that. And I also, I like and enjoy listening to a bunch of these songs as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's, your subconscious is downloading this if you're unaware of it.
If you're
And
unaware of
if
exactly
you're
how
unaware, so
conscious
I
are
want to
you
add that
listening to
out.
this?
I want to
Yes.
add that element, right? Like, so if
Yes.
you're aware, like you're saying, if you're aware of the fact that like what you enjoy about the song is like that guy went
Yeah.
in when
Oh
he
my
was
God.
when he was rapping it, no matter what he's rapping about, and you could feel like, oh wow, like he
You
was
can
he was
feel it's
and like
fun.
now I feel powerful because I'm listening
Yes.
to this, right? And like, if that's what, and sometimes too,
Oh
it's
my
either
God. I
like
just had
it's the
the
energy
biggest
and
epiphany.
or the even the rhythm, right, of the music too. Like, sometimes it's even the
Yes.
production. Like, that's where the power is, between the production and the energy and intention of the person and people producing, like making, creating.
I made
And where,
I
yeah,
made
so
this
to
video.
that degree, it can be
I'm
less about the words but more about the thing. But it's an awareness thing. That's my
Yeah.
comment about it.
I made this video where I say the most important thing in life is your focus. Whatever you focus on, exactly what you said earlier, where your
Mhm.
attention goes, your energy goes. I'm so conscious that my focus when I listen to the song is that song is fun, that song empowers me, that song
Mm,
is amazing. Yeah,
mm,
it's so funny. It's so fun. Whistle on my hip like I'm a cop. But let's say a gang member listens to that, or like a person who is like unconscious, and they are coming from another level, from another vibration, where they come from the vibration of, oh, yeah, it's so cool to have a Glock. Let me go buy a Glock. Like,
right.
it's
And where
cool.
that's where it's
That's
taken
cool.
out of
And they
context.
think,
Like,
yeah, and it's completely out of context. They think and that's what Eminem and that's what Tupac and that's what so many people say.
mm,
They we don't tell people to go out and buy guns, guys. Like,
okay, yeah,
please,
I hear that.
the conscience of people has to be high enough. And if the conscience of people is so low, they will be affected by everything to be negative. You can see everything in a positive, you can see everything in a I mean
Hmm.
almost everything. I don't want to say everything,
Right.
but you
Because the
can
other side,
see
I have something on this too. Finish your
this
thought.
song, you can see from my perspective is something that completely empowers me, is so much fun. So yeah, go ahead. What did you want?
Yeah, and the other side where like the other extreme to this would be right like, oh well, like kids don't know, so we have to censor everything, right? And like
Yeah,
that's like
exactly. That's
that's putting up
stupidity.
that's putting up a wall around, right? Like you can't protect yourself forever. Like, you have to educate and be aware
Yes.
and be
Ask
knowledgeable, because I don't,
questions. You have
yeah,
to
because
make
I
them
don't
ask themselves
necessarily like,
questions.
I don't support that. Like I don't support censoring all of this just
Mm.
because people don't know any better. Like people have the capacity to learn or understand better and reach a point. But it's a lot of parties are involved in this, right? Of like allowing awareness and understanding of these concepts to be invited into conversation about these things, like from a young age, ideally, because the younger we learn to accept and moderate for ourselves, the more power we have over the thing. So it's ideal that we can reach a point where we are open and able to discuss these things and not have to censor and like build walls around anything that might possibly harm us.
Everyone who's listening to our video now, you can only attract our video if you're on a certain consciousness. You can only attract our video if you're on a certain vibration, if you're on a certain
I believe that.
frequency.
Yeah, I believe certain things, right? And there's a certain degree too of like, right, the social medias will show you the things that you like a lot or are interested in, but
Yeah,
yeah, deeper
there's
than
a
that
law of
too.
attraction even in the social media. Yeah.
Yeah, even in the algorithm. But there is also, I do believe, right? And if you believe it, like on the days where like I need inspiration and I go and I click and I'm like, I just need to see one
You get
quote
the exact
or photo
video,
or
the
something,
exact
and
video
yeah,
you
like
need.
I just need something
Me
in this
too.
particular
Me
category.
too. Me
And right,
too.
it's a thought. It's not something that I like
It's an
search on Google.
inspiration.
It's something that I literally just think and like really focus on, like, oh, this is really what I would like to find right now, or whatever, like I would like to bring my attention to, or find a reminder about this particular topic of life. And odds are it shows up within minutes if I'm like specifically going for it, or I trust that whatever it is that I'm asking will appear and I'll feel it.
I feel like when we just enjoy it instead of thinking about life, how we can get the best life, and coming from the perspective, a lot of people that I'm trying to wake up, how I can achieve getting this girl, or how I can achieve getting this relationship as a girl or as a guy to make myself feel better. And instead of that, managing to understand that where they are is the right place, right time, and enjoy whatever they're excited about without having to go to their mental space of like, I have to make this understand. I have to understand this like a mathematical problem, because people are so arrogant and they think that with their mind, they can explain everything. They can explain
Mm.
nature. They can explain all they think when people think extraterrestrials don't exist because they never had the proof of that, which I completely believe that they exist. And we saw from the Navy pilots 2 days ago that the Pentagon said these footages are real. And there's things in the universe that we can only, with our gut, with our intuition, with the sensory perception of a higher level consciousness where if we enjoy something and be on the vibration of it, we can get inspirations and be guided through that. We don't have to be guided through our mental mind. We can be guided through this beautiful intuition. And that's what I really believe in. That's what I always do. I really feel like today I intuitively feel was the best time to have this call with you. And
Yeah.
I, on some point, I had this intuition where I was like, I really want to have this call, and then in that moment, I send you that message. And I feel like if we are more following nature, like the palm trees, the sky, the energy around us, the intuition, that's how we have amazing sex. That's how we have amazing conversations.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Enjoying the
Preach,
moment.
boo.
It's an art. It's an art to enjoy the moment, and
It
I'm
is.
practicing it, and I want to be better and better at it, and I really want to love it and enjoy it.
Ugh. All right. Let's end on that high note.
Yes, high. I
It's
love that high
it's
note.
late. Yeah, and it's late here for me.
Experience life. The life is here to be enjoyed, guys,
Enjoyed and experienced.
and enjoy your experience.
Mm-hmm.
That was beautiful, Kiki.